as you can see that in this method, you have to solve two different cases, and therefore it will require at least 3 to 4 minutes to get to the correct answer. There is another interesting method of solving this problem, that is graphical method, and whenever the problem is on number of real roots, then using graphical method you can get the answer in less than 30 seconds. Welcome to our YouTube channel ARYA Mathematics. In this video we are going to discuss a problem from JEE Advanced 2021. If x is a real number, then we need the number of real roots of this equation. Now, there are at least two different methods of solving this problem. One is the general algebraic method and the other one is graphical method. So, whenever the problem is on finding the number of real roots, then the graphical method will be much easier. But sometimes we need the actual root. So, in that case, we have to know the algebraic method also. So, basically, the algebraic method is here we have mod x square minus 1. So we have to consider two different cases. One case when x square minus 1 is positive, another one when x square minus 1 is negative, right? So if you consider the first case when x is between minus 1 to 1, so in that case x square will be less than 1, x square minus 1 will be negative. So we'll open the modulus sign with minus sign. So in this case, the quadratic equation that you will get is 3x square, and this modulus will open with minus sign, so we'll get plus 4 into x square minus 1 plus x minus 1 equals to 0. So from here you will get 7x square plus x and then minus 4 minus 1, so minus 5 equals to 0. And now we need to solve this using quadratic formula. So using quadratic formula, you will get minus b plus root d by 2a. Now root d will be b square minus 4ac, so 1 plus 140, that is root 141, and this divided by 2 into 7, so that is 14, and the other root will be minus 1 minus root 41, and this divided by 14. Now we need to check that which of these roots belongs to this interval minus 1 to 1, right? So root 41 is close to 12, right? 144 will be 12, so this number is slightly less than 12, and that minus 1 divided by 14, so this is obviously less than 1. And similarly, this number also minus 1 minus 12, so this is minus 13 by 14. So for this one also the magnitude is less than 1. So therefore we'll accept both of these roots. So in this first case, when x is between minus 1 and 1, we are going to get two different roots. Now consider the second case when mod x is greater than 1, that is either x is more than 1 or less than minus 1. So in this case, x square minus 1 will be positive, and therefore we'll remove the modulus sign with plus sign. So we'll get 3x square minus 4 into x square minus 1 plus x minus 1 equals to 0. So this will be minus x square and then plus x and 4 minus 1, so plus 3 equals to 0. We can rewrite this equation as x square minus x minus 3 equals to 0. So from here you will get x equals to minus b plus root d. Now d will be root 13. So this divided by 2, and then 1 minus root 13 divided by 2. And again you can see that both of these numbers are satisfying this condition. 1 plus root 13 by 2 will be greater than 1, and 1 minus root 13 by 2, this will be smaller than minus 1. So modulus will be more than 1. So from here we are going to get another two roots. The problem was we need a number of real roots. So basically we are getting 4 distinct roots, and therefore the right answer for this problem will be 4. But as you can see that in this method you have to solve two different cases, and therefore it will require at least 3 to 4 minutes to get to the correct answer. There is another interesting method of solving this problem, that is graphical method, and whenever the problem is on number of real roots, then using graphical method you can get the answer in less than 30 seconds. And in order to use graphical method, let us rewrite that equation in this form: 3x square plus x minus 1, and this is 4 into mod x square minus 1. Now without the modulus sign, the graph will be an upward parabola like this, and the point of 0 crossing will be minus 1 0 and 1 0, right? At these 2 points y will become 0. Now this is the graph without the modulus sign. If we have to take modulus sign, then we need to use the graphical transformation. So basically we have to delete the portion of graph which is below x-axis, and then take the image of this part of the graph in x-axis, right? So if we take the reflection of this in x-axis, then we'll get a graph something like this. So let us call this graph 1. This is graph of function on right hand side, 4 into mod x square minus 1. And now let us try to plot the graph of function on left hand side. So as you can see that on left hand side also we have a quadratic expression. So this will represent a parabola. And because coefficient of x square is positive, it will be an upward parabola. Now let us try to plot slightly accurate graph of this one. So for that, equate this to 0 and try to find the value of x at which y will become 0. So if I equate this to 0, we'll get x equals to minus 1 and then plus root 13 and this divided by 6. This is 1 point. And another one will be minus 1 minus root 13 divided by 6. Why we are calculating these roots? Because as you can see that these numbers, root 13 minus 1 by 6, this will be a positive number less than 1. So this is 1 point from which the graph will pass. And minus 1 minus root 13 by 6, this is negative and greater than minus 1. So this will be another point. So basically, the function on left hand side will be an upward parabola and the graph will be something like this. Right? These are the 2 points where y will become 0. Now, as you can see that there are 2 points of intersection between these two curves in this region. So we'll have at least 2 real roots. Now the question is whether these two graphs, let us call this graph 2. So graph 1 and 2, whether these two will further intersect or not. Means whether this graph is correct or this one is correct, right? So for that we have to see the slope of these curves. If you see the function on left hand side, if you differentiate this one, then for left hand side the derivative will be 6x plus 1. And for the expression on right hand side, the derivative will be, when x is more than 1, we have 4 into x square minus 1. So derivative will be 8x. And when x is a large number, then 8x will be much more than 6x plus 1. That means the function on right hand side for this slope is more when x is large number compared to the function on left hand side. So therefore graph 1 will be more vertical compared to 2 and hence these two will intersect in this region also, right? And similarly on other side also these two must intersect. So therefore total 4 point of intersection we are going to get between these two curves and hence the number of solution this will be 4. So as you can see that using graphical method, you can get the answer in less time compared to algebraic method. But sometimes when the problem is we need the actual root of the equation, then this graphical method will not work. So we should be familiar with both the methods. And for finding number of real roots, always try to use graphical method, right? So the correct answer for this problem will be 4. Thanks for watching and keep learning.